The galaxy was a vast, endless place, filled with countless stars and planets. For centuries, alien civilizations had fought, conquered, and moved from world to world, seeking power, control, and resources. There was no planet too distant, no civilization too strong. Nothing had ever stopped them, until they reached Earth. A powerful fleet of alien warships, each bristling with weapons, entered the solar system. The fleet's commander, Zal Kor, a ruthless leader from a distant star, was eager to expand his empire. Earth, a small, unassuming planet, was a perfect target. His sensors picked up the faint signals of Earth's technology, but it was nothing compared to the advanced civilizations they had previously destroyed. Earth seemed defenseless, a mere blip in the grand scheme of the galaxy. "Prepare for the invasion," Zalcor ordered his crew. His voice was cold and commanding, filled with the certainty of victory. The alien fleet neared Earth's atmosphere, their weapons humming with deadly energy. Zalcor's eyes narrowed as he looked at the planet through his ship's view screen. This would be easy, just like the others. But then something strange happened. As the fleet came closer, the ship's systems began to malfunction. At first it was small, slight disruptions in the communication channels, strange readings from the sensors. But soon it became clear. Something was wrong. Their technology, advanced and powerful, was being blocked. Every time they tried to fire their weapons, the systems froze. They couldn't make sense of it. Zalcor was furious. "What is happening?" he demanded, slamming his fist on the control panel. His officers scrambled, trying to fix the issues. "Commander, we don't know. It's as if Earth is protecting itself." "Impossible," Zalcor muttered under his breath. He had invaded hundreds of planets, each more complex than the last, but he had never encountered anything like this. Earth was supposed to be a simple target, a world without defenses. But now his entire fleet was stalling, as if some unseen force was holding them back. Zalcor ordered the fleet to halt, their ships now floating just outside Earth's orbit. From this distance, the planet seemed peaceful, almost tranquil. No signs of advanced military power, no defenses visible, just a blue and green world, spinning slowly in the darkness of space. But as the seconds passed, Zalcor could feel the unease in his chest growing. His instincts, honed through countless battles, told him something was terribly wrong. Earth wasn't defenseless, it wasn't weak. And worst of all, the feeling in the pit of his stomach told him that they had made a terrible mistake. "This planet, it's hiding something," Zalcor said quietly, his voice filled with uncertainty. At that moment, one of his officers, a young alien named Jin, approached him with a new report. "Commander, we found something strange. There are no signs of intelligent life on the surface, at least not in the way we expected. But there's an energy field surrounding the planet. It's like nothing we've ever seen." "Energy? Field?" Zalcor raised an eyebrow. "Are you telling me that this primitive world has somehow developed a force field?" Jin nodded. "It seems to be natural, but it's interfering with our technology. We can't scan past it, and our weapons are useless." Zalcor stared at the planet. Earth had no advanced technology, no fleets of warships, and yet it was somehow able to protect itself. It didn't make sense. The rest of the galaxy had been conquered, every race bowed to their might, but Earth was different, and Zalcor could feel that difference in his bones. He turned back to Jin, his mind racing. "This isn't possible. But if it's true, we need to understand it. Send a small team down to the surface. We will learn what Earth is hiding. We will learn why no one dares attack this world." As the team prepared for the mission, Zalcor couldn't shake the feeling that they had underestimated Earth, and that mistake could cost them everything. The alien fleet hovered in space, the darkness of the galaxy surrounding them. The mysterious planet below, so small yet so incredibly important, waited silently. The commander could not yet understand why no one had dared to attack Earth. But he would. He would find out what secret this planet held, no matter the cost. But As his team prepared to leave, Zalcor could not shake the thought that perhaps it wasn't Earth that was the danger. Maybe the real threat was something older, something hidden deep beneath the surface of the planet, a force waiting to be unleashed. And that, Zalcor feared, would be their greatest mistake. The alien fleet hovered ominously over Earth, still, unsure of what to make of the mysterious energy field surrounding the planet. Zalcor, the commander, paced anxiously on his flagship, his mind swirling with the many unknowns they had encountered. Every moment that passed seemed to deepen the enigma. Earth, a seemingly insignificant world, was proving to be more than it appeared. Zalcor ordered his officers to scour their ancient alien databases. They had never encountered anything like this before. Despite their advanced technology, the energy field around Earth blocked any attempt to gather meaningful data. It was as if the planet itself was hiding its secrets from the galaxy. "Commander," Jin, his most trusted officer, spoke up. "We've uncovered something strange. A record from an ancient alien species long extinct mentions Earth." "Earth?" Zalcor raised an eyebrow. "What does it say?" Jin looked at the data on his screen, his face growing pale. It says, "Do not touch, do not harm. The wrath of the Earth is the last thing the galaxy will ever see." Zalcor was silent for a long moment. He had heard many warnings before, but none had carried such weight. He leaned in, studying the ancient text carefully. "This could be a trick," he muttered. "A legend. But why is Earth mentioned? Why would a planet so primitive be feared by an ancient race?" His crew continued digging through the records, trying to piece together the puzzle, but they could find little more. The rest of the text was fragmented, and many of the entries were lost to time. Yet the words remained, echoing in Zalcor's mind, "The wrath of the Earth." After hours of silence, Zalcor made a decision. "We cannot wait any longer. We must send a reconnaissance team to the surface. The truth must be uncovered." Zalcor's team landed near one of Earth's remote deserts, a place untouched by the modern world. The team consisted of a few of his most skilled operatives, armed with cloaking technology to avoid detection. They ventured through the vast empty land, searching for something, anything that could explain the strange warnings they had uncovered. As they journeyed deeper into the barren landscape, the alien team found something unexpected. A structure, ancient yet perfectly preserved. It wasn't just any building. It was a monument, carved from stone, with symbols that none of the aliens could recognize. The monument seemed to pulse with a strange energy, as if it had been waiting for centuries, for someone to discover it. The team approached cautiously, their weapons ready. The monument was large and imposing, but it was clear that it wasn't built by any known alien species. This was something entirely different, something older. The team leader, Corin, stepped forward. "This is it," he said, his voice filled with awe. "This is what we've been looking for." As they examined the monument, they discovered a hidden chamber beneath the surface. The door was sealed, but the alien technology was no match for the ancient mechanisms guarding it. With a simple command, the door slowly opened, revealing a dark, cavernous room. Inside, they found artifacts unlike anything they had ever seen. Ancient tools, writings, and strange objects that seemed to glow faintly in the dark. But what caught Corin's eye was the centerpiece of the chamber, a large crystalline structure suspended in the center of the room. It radiated power, a raw, unfiltered energy that seemed to be tied to the very core of Earth itself. Corin could feel it in his bones. This was no ordinary artifact. This was the heart of Earth's power, the source of its mysterious defense. He reached out to touch the crystal, and the moment his hand made contact, a blinding flash of light filled the room. The alien team staggered back, shielding their eyes. The ground beneath them trembled, and the very air seemed to vibrate with an immense energy. Corin gasped as he saw images flash before his eyes, visions of a civilization long gone, of battles fought, and of a planet that had once been the most powerful force in the galaxy. But the visions also showed something more disturbing. The destruction of that civilization, the fall of its people, and the reason why they had vanished. The crystal was not just a relic, it was a warning. A voice, ancient and deep, echoed in Corrin's mind. Protect Earth. Guard it from those who seek to conquer. For the wrath of Earth is not just a force, it is a reckoning. Corrin's heart raced. He understood now. Earth wasn't just a planet. It was a weapon, one that had been hidden for eons, waiting for the right moment to awaken. He turned to his team, his face pale with fear. We've made a grave mistake. Earth is not defenseless, it never was. But it was too late. The energy from the crystal surged into the atmosphere, and the sky above them seemed to come alive. The ground cracked open, revealing ancient machinery, buried deep beneath Earth's surface, coming to life. The planet was awakening, and with it a force the galaxy had long forgotten. As the team fled the chamber, they knew one thing for certain. Earth had been hiding its true power all along, and now it was ready to unleash it. As the alien team raced back to their ship, the desert landscape around them seemed to pulse with an unnatural energy. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and the air buzzed with a low hum, as though Earth itself were awakening. The crystal they had uncovered, now deep within their minds, was not just an artifact, it was a beacon, a call to action. Corrin, the team leader, felt the weight of the discovery pressing down on him. His heart pounded in his chest as he communicated with Zalcor. Commander, we were wrong. Earth isn't just a planet. It's a weapon, a living force waiting to be unleashed. Zalcor's voice crackled through the communication channel, cold and calculating. What do you mean by weapon? Speak plainly, Corrin. The planet itself, it's alive. The energy we've encountered, it's part of Earth's core. I don't think we've ever truly understood what this world is. The warnings we uncovered, they were not just legends, they were real. The desert horizon behind them seemed to grow darker, a storm rolling in. Corrin looked around in horror as the ground split open once more. Giant, twisting roots shot up from beneath the surface, strange metallic tendrils twisting into the air like the fingers of some ancient creature awakening from a long slumber. We need to leave now, Corrin said, fear creeping into his voice. The Earth is responding to our presence. Zalcor paused for a long moment before answering. No. We came here for a reason, Corrin. We must take Earth's secrets. If this planet holds the power to fight back against the galaxy, we need it for ourselves. Corrin's gut tightened. His duty as an officer was to obey, but his instincts screamed at him to turn back, to leave Earth behind before it was too late. Yet he knew the consequences of disobeying an order from Zalcor. The rest of his team was already making their way to the shuttle. The atmosphere was becoming thick with energy. Something ancient, something far beyond their understanding, was now responding to them. We're leaving, Corrin finally said. I won't risk the lives of my men for a power we don't fully understand. But as they made their way back to the shuttle, a deafening roar echoed from the Earth beneath them. The sky above began to darken, swirling in unnatural patterns, as though the very air itself was being pulled into the planet's gravitational pull. It was not a storm. It was something else entirely. Suddenly, massive pillars of light shot up from the planet's surface, piercing the sky in a violent spectacle of color and energy. The team froze, eyes wide in terror. From the cracks in the Earth, strange and ancient war machines began to rise. Giant constructs made of stone, metal, and something darker, more ancient than anything the galaxy had ever seen. These were not mere machines. They were sentient. The awakening had begun. The war machines moved with purpose, as though they had been waiting for centuries for this moment. Their massive limbs ground into the Earth, lifting their enormous bodies from the ground. The moment they stood fully upright, they seemed to resonate with the very pulse of the planet. Each machine glowed with an eerie, vibrant energy, its eyes glowing bright with ancient power. We have to go. Now, Corrin shouted, sprinting toward the shuttle as the ground beneath them quaked violently. The war machines began moving toward them, their steps shaking the Earth with every motion. Their immense size and speed were terrifying, and their eyes were full of cold, calculated purpose. But the shuttle was still too far. They wouldn't make it. Corin's heart raced, and he could feel the weight of his decision weighing on him. He had failed. They had all underestimated Earth's power, and now they were about to pay the price. Behind him, the team scattered, but it was clear none of them would make it in time. The ancient war machines closed in, their immense forms, towering above them like shadows of doom. The ground cracked beneath their feet as they ran, their every step echoing in the chaos. Corin turned, and for a split second he caught a glimpse of the crystal they had uncovered, the very thing that had triggered the planet's awakening. The war machines seemed to be drawn to it, responding to its energy, understanding its call. They were coming, not just for the aliens, but for the crystal, the heart of Earth's power. In a desperate move, Corin activated a device hidden in his armor, creating a temporary shield that pushed back the nearest war machine. It was a fleeting victory, but it bought him just enough time to reach the shuttle. His team scrambled inside, their faces pale with fear. As they lifted off from Earth's surface, they watched in horror as the ancient machines continued to rise, the ground splitting, open to reveal more. Earth's secrets were now fully awake, and there was no going back. Corin looked at Zalcor, who was still silent on the comms. "Commander," he said with a shaky breath, "we've made a grave mistake. Earth is no longer the target. It is the weapon." Zalcor's voice came through, his tone sharp and filled with authority. "We will conquer it, we must." But Corin wasn't so sure anymore. The galaxy was vast, and Earth was no longer the simple, defenseless planet they had believed it to be. As the shuttle ascended into space, leaving the terrifying world below, Corin wondered if the galaxy would ever be the same again. Earth was no longer just a planet. It was the beginning of something far greater and far more dangerous. The alien fleet lingered in space, a safe distance from the chaos that had erupted on Earth's surface. The once confident invaders now watched in stunned silence as their ships trembled in the grip of an energy they could not comprehend. Zalcor, standing at the helm of his flagship, was no longer the leader of a victorious fleet. He was a man, trapped by his own arrogance, caught in the web of a mystery far greater than he had ever imagined. Corin's report echoed in his mind. Earth is not just a planet. It is the weapon. The word weapon had never seemed so ominous. He had conquered worlds, destroyed civilizations, and crushed countless enemies, but nothing had prepared him for what Earth had become. The planet's heart, the mysterious crystal that had triggered the awakening, wasn't just a relic. It was the last remnant of an ancient, powerful race that had once ruled the galaxy, and its return meant the balance of power was shifting in ways no one could predict. Zalcor knew that the galaxy had been far too complacent, too confident in its technological superiority. Earth had been left untouched, a forgotten relic of the past. But now, as the war machines continued to rise from the planet's depths, Zalcor understood the truth. Earth wasn't just waiting for an invasion. It had been waiting for the galaxy to forget its power, to grow weak and vulnerable. And now the time had come for the galaxy to face the consequences of that oversight. "Commander, we've intercepted another transmission from Earth." Jin, his most trusted officer, reported, his voice trembling. "It's a signal, a warning. The language is unlike anything we've encountered before, but we've translated part of it." Zalcor turned sharply. "What does it say?" Jin's eyes flickered to the screen, where symbols he couldn't fully understand flashed in rapid succession. "It says, this is the final warning. Earth shall rise again, and the galaxy will tremble at its awakening. To those who dare challenge the ancient guardians, prepare for the reckoning." The words struck Zalcor like a blow to the chest. Earth wasn't just a passive observer of the galaxy's wars. It had been a guardian, a protector. And now, it had awakened to reclaim its place in the galaxy. The war machines were not just weapons. They were protectors, sentient beings bound to Earth's will, guarding the planet against any who dared challenge its supremacy. The implications of this revelation hit Zalcor hard. He had miscalculated. He had believed that Earth, with its primitive technology and seemingly harmless appearance, would be an easy conquest. But Earth had been biding its time, keeping its true power hidden from the galaxy. And now, that power was being unleashed. The fleet commander turned to his officers, his voice now filled with urgency. Prepare for the worst. We cannot underestimate Earth's power, but we cannot retreat either. We must find a way to take control of that crystal. Its energy is the key. We cannot allow Earth to dictate the terms of this conflict. But Jin shook his head, his eyes filled with doubt. Commander, we've already lost so much. The war machines are only the beginning. What if the crystal's power is more than we can handle? What if Earth is invincible? Zalkor's gaze hardened. Nothing is invincible. We will conquer it, or we will die trying. If we retreat now, we will be seen as weak. The galaxy will never respect us again. This is our only chance. The alien fleet began to move, slowly, at first as the war machines on Earth's surface continued to stir. But their path was no longer the straightforward conquest they had planned. The mysterious energy field around the planet was stronger than ever, and every move they made was met with resistance. The closer they came to Earth, the more the planet seemed to push back. As they approached the atmosphere, an alarming signal blinked on Zalkor's console. It wasn't an attack. It was a warning. Commander, we've detected something, an officer said. A large, unknown object is approaching us from Earth's surface. It's coming fast. Zalkor's eyes widened. What is it? What kind of ship could have been hidden on this world? The officer quickly ran the scans, but the readings made no sense. It wasn't a ship. It was something far more formidable. It's a massive structure, the officer said. A giant, ancient machine. It's unlike anything we've ever seen. It's moving toward us faster than any ship could. Before Zalkor could respond, the object broke through the atmosphere, a massive figure emerging from the cloud cover. It was a colossus, a towering mechanical behemoth, its design an eerie combination of alien technology and ancient Earth craftsmanship. The very air around it seemed to shimmer with energy as it approached. The alien fleet stopped in its tracks, frozen by the sheer scale of the creature. It moved with a purpose, its immense form cutting through the atmosphere with terrifying speed. Is that? Jin whispered, unable to finish the sentence. Zalkor's heart raced. This wasn't just an ancient weapon. This was Earth's ultimate defense, an ancient guardian, born from the very core of the planet, and it was coming for them. The massive structure loomed over the fleet, casting an ominous shadow across the sky. It extended its enormous arms, and for a moment, the entire fleet was engulfed in darkness. Then, without warning, the creature released a pulse of energy that rippled through the atmosphere, causing the alien ships to shake violently. Zalkor's flagship lurched, the controls sparking as the system struggled to maintain power. The Guardian's eyes, if they could be called eyes, glowed with a fierce light. And as it loomed over them, Zalkor realized one painful truth. Earth was not just a weapon, it was a living, breathing force of nature, and now it had come to reclaim its place in the galaxy. The sky above Earth had darkened and the stars seemed to fade into a backdrop of swirling chaos. The massive Guardian continued its approach, its enormous form filling the viewports of every alien ship. The power emanating from it was palpable, almost as if it was alive, pulsing with an ancient primal energy. Zalkor watched in stunned silence as the Guardian's colossal form hovered before the fleet. The ships were now at the mercy of this towering behemoth, a creation far beyond anything they could have anticipated. His fleet had once been the terror of the galaxy, feared and respected by all, but now they were like insects before a storm. Commander, we've lost control of our systems, one of his officers shouted, panic creeping into their voice. The energy from that creature, it's interfering with our shields, our weapons, everything. We can't fight back. Zalkor's eyes narrowed. He had underestimated Earth. He had thought that it was a simple planet ripe for the taking. But now he saw it for what it truly was. A planet of untapped power, an ancient world hiding its secrets beneath layers of time. Earth wasn't just a world of war machines. It was the last defense of an entire civilization, one that had long been forgotten by the galaxy, and now it was waking up. The Guardian's colossal form seemed to absorb the very light around it, casting a shadow over the fleet. The alien ships trembled as if the weight of the Guardian's presence was too much to bear. Its movements were deliberate, almost graceful for something so massive, and each step it took seemed to send ripples through the very fabric of space itself. It wasn't just a machine, it was something older, something born from the Earth itself. Zalcor could feel the pressure building. His people, who had once believed they were invincible, were now nothing more than prey. He had no choice but to make one final attempt to control the situation. The only thing that could save them now was the crystal, the heart of Earth's power. It was their last hope. "Prepare to deploy the extraction team," Zalcor barked. His voice, once commanding, now carried the weight of desperation. "We must get to the crystal, or we will all be destroyed." But as the fleet began to scramble, an unexpected voice echoed across the communication channels. It was not one of Zalcor's officers, nor one of the alien fleet. It was a voice Zalcor had never heard before. A voice that seemed to vibrate with power, like the very Earth was speaking through it. "Leave this place, invaders. This is your final warning." The voice was cold yet filled with an undeniable authority. It was as if the planet itself was speaking, its ancient power rising to meet the challenge of the galaxy's might. Zalcor's heart skipped a beat. He had heard nothing like it before. The language was strange, ancient, but there was no mistaking the tone. Earth was no longer the helpless planet it had once seemed to be. It had become something far greater, a force that no one, not even the most powerful empire in the galaxy, could challenge. The voice continued, the words ringing through the very core of every ship. "You are not the first to seek our destruction, and you will not be the last. But Earth does not kneel to invaders. Leave now or face the consequences." Zalcor's mind raced. The voice wasn't just a warning, it was a declaration of war. Earth wasn't merely defending itself. It was setting the terms for this conflict. This was no longer about conquering a planet. This was about the galaxy facing a reckoning, one that had been centuries in the making. The alien fleet hesitated, confusion and fear running through the ranks. They had come for power, for dominance, but they had underestimated the true nature of Earth. This wasn't just a fight for control, it was a battle for survival. Zalcor clenched his fists. "Activate all defenses. We cannot let Earth stand in our way. We must take the crystal and use its power. If Earth will not bow to us, we will make it." But as the command was given, the ground beneath them trembled once again. The Guardian's eyes glowing with ancient energy, focused on the fleet with chilling intensity. A pulse of light shot from the Guardian's core, and in an instant a wave of energy spread across the fleet. The alien ships began to implode from within, their metal frames cracking and splitting as the energy wave washed over them. The immense power of Earth's Guardian was too much. The very ships built to withstand the harshest of conditions were now being torn apart by an energy they could not comprehend. The fleet was being shattered, piece by piece. Zalcor could only watch, in horror as his empire crumbled before him. The alien commander knew that he had failed. Earth was not just a weapon, it was a force of nature, something that no empire, no fleet could hope to defeat. And now, he understood why no one had ever dared to attack Earth. The planet itself had been waiting silently until the moment was right. Earth was not the last forgotten world of the galaxy. It was the most dangerous one. As the energy from the Guardian continued to devastate the alien fleet, Zalcor realized, too late, the true cost of his arrogance. Earth wasn't just a planet. Earth was the galaxy's reckoning, and he had been foolish enough to bring the storm upon them. With the alien fleet destroyed and Earth's ancient Guardian standing victorious, the planet's silence returned. But now it was a silence of warning, a silence that said, "This world is not to be trifled with, the galaxy will remember Earth." And so Earth's power was no longer hidden in the shadows. It had risen, and the galaxy would never be the same again.